Welcome back. Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? How you guys doing? First of all, I would like to start this show off with saying how much I truly appreciate each and every one of you for subscribing and just to tell you how much humility I got. I appreciate your subscriptions. I appreciate your likes, your love, your sharing, all of that beautiful stuff, man. Because this is called the Underhanded America Show. Who's who in America? So, due to the fact it's a global show, I would also love to always keep it, you know, as 100 as I can get it with you. So, this is going to be a book review too. You know, let me change this up here. Let me grab this title up real quick because sometimes when we do these podcasts, we be so excited about getting our information out that we forget to take care of the some things that should be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna make sure we do that right now off the top so that we ain't got that problem and that we update all. Let me just update everything. Okay, all right, so here we go. Yeah, we got my title straight, things that I had to get, you know, clear and concise. You know, hope my lighting good. Yeah. Uh there we go. That's a whole lot better for me. Because you get to see MJ, y'all love to see the wings. You love to see the wings. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, we get into the show right now because I think this is going to be a very interesting show. I know you have seen some of these books that I'm about to present to you simply because they deserve an encore. Absolutely, they deserve an encore because we have to unwrap. I always call this an overlay society, America. I always, say what it actually is. Overlay society. Um, there's an underhanded nature to this nation. There's a suppression. There's an underbelly. There are two Americas by design. Let me explain, okay? What did you mean by two Americas then? Racism, Barack Obama, all this. When you have a berating force of nationalists that are not even indigenous to this nation. Europeans are not indigenous to America. They're European Americans. As soon as we understand that, we can get a more we can walk with a more solid, you know, platform. See, this is a wealth of information that proves everything I say correct because these are different authors. These are different time frames, different time periods. They don't have any relationships with each other, but somehow they have the propensity to write and say and talk and literally write books and publish books. And these books are published because they were approved to be published. They're able to be sold on platforms like Amazon and anywhere else, and A Books and anywhere else I purchase books from. But books are a currency. Information is a currency. How do you learn everything? When you go to these Ivy League universities and things of this nature, and you have all of these, what do you learn? You learn how to do something. You learn how to master something, or at least how to administer something, or how to understudy. Yeah, see, universities and colleges are actually built on understudying natives globally, indigenous cultures globally. This is what colonization actually means. You have to put definitions to terms. I need y'all to purchase this book if you are an American Indian, if you are a person of interest of what truth could actually look like. Wow. Let's take a look at it. Well, first of all, I'm not going to go into all of the categories of this book because it is extremely controversial. And I don't want to get flagged. I don't want to be. So I just rather put it out there and I want to show you so much. I want to show you so much, but I think I would rather show you in a more palatable way because some of y'all be like, show it, Danny D, show it. Get flagged. Don't listen here. I don't want to do that. I'm not scared of controversy. I just prefer to use intelligence to get my point across. It's more palatable. I already have enough strikes against me. See, I mean, it's a whole lot of melanin around here. You understand what I'm saying? Do you want to dig? That's what the M stand for on this microphone, melanin. And I'm just playing. No, but check this out. This book right here, American History Lied. We are not black. Dispelling the Misconception, Volume 1, written by Truth Ali. I got another one I got to share with you too. Uh, I've shared these a few times and I don't mind sharing them again. Absolute wonderful bodies of work. I say again, absolute wonderful bodies of work here by the legendary Top Cats. Let's be clear. And I keep that on I keep it close for reference bases and all of these things. I'm an avid reader. I also want to share with you as well by Kimberly R. Norton. Black people are indigenous to the Americas research material for inquisitive. For the inquisitive. I know I shared this before, but let me read you a couple of passages out of this book before I get into the other one. That's not, yeah, that's good too, but let me. I like to start with introductions, but it's a good place that I wanted to get in here, and I'm trying to find it. Page, that's an ancestor. Nine, okay. Giovanni di Verrazzano. In 1524, Giovanni da Verrazzano wrote a letter to King Francis depicting the people of the Carolinas as being black like Ethiopians. The Verrazzano letter, according to the original version, Captain John Giovanni de Verrazzano to his most serene Majesty the King of France writes, since the tempest which we encountered on the northern coast, I have not written to your most serene and Christian Majesty concerning the 4 ships sent out by your orders to the ocean to discover new lands. Because I thought You must have been before pleased of all of the happening to us, that we had been compelled to the impetus violence of the winds to put compelling to the to into Brittany to distress with only the two ships, Normandy and Dolphin, and that after having repaired the ships, we made a cruise in them, well armed along the coast of Spain, as your majesty must have heard, and also to our new plan of continuing our begun voyage with the Dolphin alone. From the voyage being now returned, I proceed to give your majesty an account of our discoveries. On the 17th of the last January 1524, we all set sail from the desolate rock near the inland of Madeira, belonging to His Most Serene Majesty the King of Portugal, with 50 men, having provisions sufficient for 8 months, armed and other warlike mutations and naval stores. Sailed westward with a light and pleasant entry breeze. 25 days we ran 800 leagues. On the 14th of February, we encountered a violent hurricane, as any ship we've ever weathered, from which we escaped unearthed by the divine assistance of goodness, to the praise of the glorious and fortunate name of our good ship, and had been able to support by the violent tossing in the waves, pursuing our voyage towards the west. A little northwardly, a 24-day more march, having run 400 leagues, we reached our new country, Carolina coast, which we've never been before, seen by anyone, either in ancient or modern times. At first, it was appeared to be very low. Only approaching it within a quarter of the league from the shore, and we perceived by the great fires near the coast that it was inhabited. We perceived that the stretch of the south and coasted along the direction and searched for some port in which we might come to anchor, and examined that the nature of the country, but for 50 leagues we could find none of which we could lie securely. Seeing the coast still stretched to the south, we resolved to change our course and stand to the northward. And as we still had the same difficulty, we drew in with the land and sent the boat on shore. Many people who we seen coming to the seaside fled our approach, and occasionally stopping, they looked back upon with an astonishment of somewhere were linked, induced by various friendly signs to come to us. These showed us greatness, delight in beholding us, wondering to our dress, countenance, and complexion. They then showed us signs that we could more conveniently secure our boats, and often offered us some provisions. Your Majesty may know all of the learning that while on the shores of the manners and customs of life, I related we saw briefly as possible. They go entirely naked, escape that about the lions they wear skins of small animals, like martes, fastened to the griddle, and plaiting grass, to which they tie, all around the body, and toys of other animals, hanging down the knees, and all other parts of the body and head are naked. Some wear garlets similar to bird feathers. The complexion of these people is black, not much different from the Ethiopians. Their hair is black and thick, not very long. It is worn, tied back upon the head and formed in a little tail. A person, they are for good proportions of middle stature, a little above our own, broad across the breast, strong in the arms, and well formed in the legs and other parts of the body. And only exceptions to their good looks is that they have broad faces, but not all. However, as I saw many of their sharp ones, like large black eyes and the fixed expressions, they are not very strong in body, but acute in mind, active and swift of foot, as far as they could judge of by observers by observation. In these last two particular, they resembled the people of the East, especially those most remote. We could not learn a great many particulars of their usage on account of their short stay among them and distant of our ships from the shore. So, as you can tell, and as they have described, I'm an Aboriginal. I know. Uh, Fortunately, due to oral traditions, I was able to understand and discover all of these things. So reading it is just that, a confirmation. See, confirmations is when you can see your likeness and everything. You see who you are, you know who you are, and a lot of the dispellings of everything has to do with how the old world is America. This book smells wonderful. I've read this book a few times. The questions, dispelling misconceptions. I think I've read this on one of my shows already, so I'm gonna ask you all to go back and find that show. Even with Van Sertima and August Rogers. So, as we know, as will continue to prove, I'm gonna show this book again. Okay, you can pick this book up. I've also read you excerpts out of this book if you look at my previous shows. And once again, I have to show you some books again. I don't like repeating myself or rereading, so I try to read new excerpts and new true parallels of things that I can show you that I haven't read before. But let me try to get you something new out of this one. Well, I'll read you this one. Americans are not derived from African or nor Europe. Now, to shut up all, it is evident that the first planters of America were not European from the dismutilitude of the people, both in the complexions, language, and persons, nor African, because that is all the far spreading country of America. Not one Negro is to be found except a few near the river Marta, the little territory, Curacao, which must by storm be drove thinnered from the Guinea coast, so that Asia, the mother of all people, only remains to be the implanter of the America, whose western coast, opposite to the Asia, is more inhabitable than to east, where it respects Europe. So these are the things that they used to tell me, but Asia, and chiefly to Tatari. No. Tatari is not particularly from America by the straits of Ania. Moreover, Armenia, out of which Noah progeny the whole earth as the people born borders of Cynthia, now called Tatari, faces America, separated by only the Straits of Aninia. Thought some of are in opinion that out of the south into the frozen sea there are no passages through the straits, else, as we have already proven the contrary. How came all the vocarious and prominence beasts into America, if it be clearly separated from Asia by sea? It deserves hereby be related to what happened in Henry Cornelius Scapip and William Biveved sailed from Batavia to discover the Tartaric River Palasiaj, but were taken and carried prisoner to the Japan court to Jido, being commanded by the order of the council to be given an account of the Japan map and card, which by laid before them and contained Providence of Japan, Amborian Na, Moluccas Islands, Manalia, and southeast Borneo country or desert. Jeso separated the Japan and the Straits of the Sungar through toward the north to join Japan in the province of Osho and beginning in 47 degrees northeast towards America. But they could not possibly find the Straits of Anyan, but to the contrary, the promontory of Tatari, viz., Providence, Kataya, and Katu, lay in the same parallel with the Northern America. So what they're really describing is, I bet you have never ever heard of any of those territories. This planet that we live on deserves a new look, a new full discovery, a new tale. The one that is being distributed throughout the world today is a complete fabrication. I know that by reading this book here. I'm not going to get into this book until I've been reading this book for, I've had this book for about 13 years. I've been reading it for about 3, on and off, skipping in and out, understanding the actual verbiage, the actual mental conception that it takes to understand knowledge of the higher worlds and its attainment. Rudolph Steiner symbolized a great many things, even in modern society. I still got how much I paid for this book. No, this is the. Oh, wait, man. Where's this one? Yes, this is the book. Yeah, I bought this book from uh Europe, United Kingdom. Oh yeah, when I purchased this book back in. Oh well, I'm sorry. I thought I had this book for since my order date is 12/1/2015. So I've had this book about 9 years. Thought I had it longer. I had this book about 9 years. Yes, indeed. Wow. Here, should I show you my order date right here? Check that out. That's how long I've been on my knowledge quest. And you see where I purchased it from. So don't think I'm new to this. I'm very true to this. Um, this is a higher level book. I won't be sharing this book no time soon. We got about a year before we get into, even if y'all can, even if the universe and the ancestors give us that time and that and all of that, we got a while before we enter those type of realms of understanding and study. So we're gonna pause on that one because that's what I do personally. That's my stuff. That's what I like to entertain myself with. But for us, from a more of a communal, the Will Is podcast community, us alumni, we stay in tune with each other from a interpersonal way with learning what we all can attain because it's I've shared this before too. This wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book. It's an amazing uh, book. Seriously. It shows the turkeys all over the world before 1492. Okay. See, I've shown you and I'm giving you so much game and information, and I'm not trying to overrun and basically encapsulate your brain, but I'm trying to let you understand from an original indigenous American Indian. Please, starting today, right now, and even before, if you just now looking at this show, understand that the things that you may think you know, I promise you, there's far more to it. There's a bigger story, a broader, a more immaculate story. If we can create immaculate conceptions, do you do you understand how immaculate the human lexicon story completely is, ladies and gentlemen? Do you understand the kind of greatness that you have bestowed upon you once you understand your true nature, your roots? And when you start to understand history, you start to understand your customs change. Your mindset starts to develop. You grow differently internally. You become more accountable. You become more responsible. You become also more adherent to the realness of true knowledge, information. Your capacity will enhance. I hope you completely understand. See, we will get into these these books. We're going to do more diving into these books. You're going to understand more about the deepest depths of history and how it's even more pivotal to understand these things for your children, to understand how to correct the fallacies and inadequacies of what has shaped this underhanded America that we live in. See, you're only good as your last good deed, and they call the Indian an Indian giver. But that's contrarian. The problem with a lot of people in this society is they enjoy the privilege of being a contrarian. That's how you have alternate facts and shit like that. Foolishness. That's why it's hard to deal with cold hard truths. I purchased this book from Australia, ladies and gentlemen. Old world records in ancient America. But if you let the European tell it, or the inhabitor, or the Overlay Society contributor and architect of, which is there already with civilizations here and long before, and my civilization, the orchestrators, the old Mexico was the first. So this book describes and explains every single attribute of all of those things, man. I mean, Kamaru, he gives a hell of a synopsis on this book a few years ago. I mean, look at it. This is ridiculous. Check this out. Egyptians, another donkey in a ship. Egypt redrawn. Check this out, y'all. It says America now, but what Egypt got to do with America? What? I got a pretty good camera. You can read this. Let me show you. You understand? I mean, come on, man. We have to be. Look at this. It says Eastern Oklahoma Historical Society, in which the president became interested in promoting equality excavation, and in December drew up a resolution to that effect. It was July 1975 before it was invited to Oklahoma City to discuss that this with officials of the Oklahoma Tourism and Recreation Agency, State Parks State Parks Department. My own society had not realized that the inner politics had interfered with the possibility that Oklahoma Archaeology Survey would cooperate. They had apparently been told that the expenses of $50,000 would have to come from their limited budget, although this rumor could never be verified as to its origin. Much to my surprise, it was quickly given permission to open the cave, but with the following limitations: the Eastern Oklahoma Historical Society would be totally responsible for all the expenses and liabilities, and archaeologists we hired would have to be approached by the State Parks Board. The work must be done in the winter. This could be no blasting. Each worker would have to be insured. To surface must to that and this surface must be returned to the original condition. Ooh wee! Did you hear what I just read? No blasting. Each worker would have to be insured, and the surface must be returned to its original condition. These conditions seem to be made that the project impossible to provide to be so, with no insurance agency would be found willing to insure under these terms. Bentley said would dig out himself. I was then forced to tell him that head of the agency had said that anyone other than the archaeologists open the cave would find any evidence. They would say we planted it. I told Bentley that since it had waited so many centuries, it could wait longer, and he agreed. It still waits. It still waits. Answer to archaeology and criticism. Wyckoff has, of course, published his own opinion of the Heavener runstone, which is negative. Here I would like to answer some of this criticism. We ain't gonna read no more, but this is the Oklahoma runstone. That's this chapter. See, a lot of stuff is in plain. The book is named in plain sight for a reason. And when you have an overlay society that comes from the East, and claims to have a Western ideology that doesn't have the mind of a Westerner. See, the European is a European. It's really more so of a white African, an African. Just like Elon Musk is a European from South Africa, that makes him an African. So, you know, so you understand what I mean by overlay society because you can't have the default American looking white. The default American is not a white person. Just being under. I just want you to understand that. And a lot of people would say, "Oh, he's being you're race baiting." No, I'm not. I'm not even defending him. I'm showing you what an American Indian looks like. White people are not Indians; they're Europeans. Period. As well as any other person from any other nation. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explain. America has to be in your heart, and you have to learn and understand the origins of the story. If you're not happy with that, and if you're not happy with the origins of this country, well, do what I've done. Find your true origins. I don't have a homeland to run to. I'm not from Africa. I know some of you just love and want to believe that and has a disdain for me saying that being this complexion. How could you? Because I can, because it's true. But you can't take that as having beef with you or malice with you or anger towards you. That's just not true. Maybe that's something that you inhabit towards me, and you should stop. You should truly stop that. It's not healthy for me or you or the melanated people across the globe. We're connected. The world is so much more older than our petty dislikenesses of truth. I guarantee you, the more you want to know about truth and stop trying to inhabit yourself where you're not even recognized. See, as an American Indian, and even FBAs, we're all starting to understand the value of ourselves from inside out. Stop. We're stopping the taxing of the mental confusion of a outside in concept because someone told us that never meant us any good for their from their inception. Of course they would tell you all of these things. They're the foreigner. But when you peel the onions back of America, the only thing you can discover and uncover is you. So you can't hate me for having pride in who and what I am and being able to show you and uncover to you, let me show you what my ancestral tree looks like. From ancestry.com, not 23andMe, nothing like that. Let's just go to ancestry.com. On my phone, because I don't do the screen sharing stuff, or because I don't think I'm allowed on there. I got to figure that out. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm too new to have enough of. They won't let me do it, but I can surely show you. My I'm sure you can see this. Let me just. Uh-oh, went too far. That's a whole. I read all these. I read a lot of these articles and stuff till they give me good things. But hold on, let's go back. Okay, let's see if we can show you the yeah. I'm not ashamed. I can show you everything. Here it is. That's who. That's my makeup. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Say what you want. Those are the memories of my ancestral blood time line. It's my blood timeline. I can't lie about nothing like that. Those are my ancestors. I can't see it myself, but I hope you can. I gotta scroll lightly, but we all there. We all in there. Everywhere. We all in there. Everywhere. All the way up and through there. Okay. You know, that's enough. Okay. You get the point. I'm indigenous. I'm from here. We get it. We get it. We get it. Blah blah blah. I hear you. I hear you. Okay. So anyway, this is this is why I have the ability to understand why. You know how people are underhanded. You know how they got that way. Uh, America is a very perplexed place. But what you should do, if you're from another nation, what I'm trying to do is help you and educate you, because can't nobody tell you like the person that been here first. Got the lineage, you have the the DNA, you have the oral traditions, you have the internal knowledge from your peoples. That makes me extremely grateful, very humble, and very proud. Who I am, what I am, and how to continue to order my steps. So, big ups to all the world cultures of indigenous people and the recognizers of our greatness. People that are great want peace so that they can continue to be great and do greater things. Those that don't want peace want turmoil, but understand when you have been figured out, found out, you might want to find out how to be something other than a destructive force. Because there's a such thing as power versus force. And knowledge is power. But check it out. Yo, this is the Wilderness Podcast. And I want y'all to stay with me because this is the end of the show tonight. I love you guys. I don't mind putting on for you. Thank you for subscribing and being a part of something great. This experience of ours. My love project. It's my passion project. But I want y'all to say this with me again. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, the wheel is yours. Stay tuned.